Hello everyone, myself Gautam Kumar, Assistant Professor, MMICT BM, deemed to be University, and my subject is System Analysis and Design. Subject code is BCA 204. Today we are going to discuss about the system development life cycle. In previous lecture we have discussed the concept of system and various type of systems. So, for developing a system there are various phases during the development of the system like recognition of need, feasibility study, analysis, design, implementation and post implementation. All these topic we will cover in this session, and prototyping, advantages and disadvantages of prototyping. System development life cycle. An effective system development life cycle should result in a high quality system that meets customer expectations, reaches completion within time and cost evaluation. It works effectively and efficiently in the current and planned information technology infrastructure. System development life cycle is a conceptual model which includes policies and procedures for developing or altering systems throughout their life cycles. SDLC is used by analysts to develop an information system. During the system development life cycle, we have some phases like recognition of need, feasibility study, analysis, design, implementation, post implementation and maintenance. Information system development involves various activities which we have discussed. You can see on the screen also. First of all, during the recognition of need, what we have to do, we have to consult with the customer and to find out which type of the requirement the customer have, and on the basis of that recognition, after interviewing the customer, we plan a development of the system. After that, we perform the feasibility studies. During the feasibility studies, we perform some analysis. Is the current system which is proposed by the customer or candidate is possible to develop or not? Analysis. Different type of analysis take part during the analysis process, which we will discuss in detail in upcoming slides. Design. The conceptual design and how the system will work will be determined and designed during the design phase. After completing the design of the system, we go through the implementation phase and we implement the system in an organization for the use. After implementation, we perform some testing and post implementation and maintenance. After using the system in the organization, we perform the post implementation. We continuously monitor the system performance. If there is a need of the updation, we perform the maintenance and post implementation on that system. First of all, recognition of need. It is the first stage, very first stage of information system development life cycle. This gives a clear picture of what actually to existing system is. For example, first of all we examine the current working system, what the system is doing, and after that what we want in the updated system. The primary investigation must define the scope of the project and the perceived problem, opportunities and the directives that triggered the project. Recognition of need have some following tasks, and these are the preliminary investigations like list of the problems, opportunities and directives. What type of issues we are facing in the current system and what we can make betterment in the current system. Negotiate preliminary scopes. Assess the project worth, how much we are going to invest during the system development. After that, planning of the project, and present the project and the plan to the customer or candidate. During the feasibility study is something what we have to do and what we have to do and how much we are capable to do this. This type of analysis are related to the feasibility study. The statement, don't try to fix it unless you understand it. First of all, you have to understand all the feasibilities, and after that we will go to the development of that system. Describe the feasibility study stage of system analysis. The goal of the feasibility study is to evaluate alternative system and to propose the most feasible and desirable system for development. Firstly, we evaluate the currently system and find what are the alternative ways how we can improve that system, and after finding these most feasible way of the improved system, we describe and we go for the system development. And system feasibility study consists the statement of the problem, summary of findings and recommendation, details of findings, recommendation and conclusions. There are 5 types, basically there are 5 types for the feasibility studies. The first one is the technical feasibility. In technical feasibility, we study an analysis about the proposed system can be built by using the current technologies or not. Is it feasible to develop the proposed system by existing technologies? Economic feasibilities. Economic feasibilities are related to the cost. If we are going to develop the proposed system and we are investing some amount, is it give some return of benefits or not? Is it feasible from the point of the economical or worth, it is feasible to develop the system or not? Motivational feasibility. Motivational feasibility is related to the users behavior, how they are adopting that system is adoptable by the users or not. Such type of analysis are taken through the motivational feasibility. Schedule feasibility. Schedule feasibility related to the schedule or procedures of the system, and the operational feasibility, how system will work. The desired functionality can be obtained or not. Such type of analysis or study can be done through the operational feasibility. During the feasibility study in the economic analysis or economical feasibility, we perform the cost benefit analysis. Feasibility study typically involve cost benefit analysis. In the process of feasibility study, the cost and benefits are estimated with greater accuracy. How much we are costing, we are spending the money in development of the system, and what are the benefit. The comparison or analysis of these points are done through the cost benefit analysis with greater accuracy. If cost and benefits can be quantified, they are tangible, and if not, they are called intangible. So, there are 2 type of cost and benefits, that are tangible and intangible. Tangible cost and benefits can be quantified. We have some quantity. If we cannot can quantify the cost and benefit, these are the intangible cost and benefits. System analysis. System analysis is not a preliminary study, it is an in-depth study of the end user information needs that produce functional requirements that are used as the basics for the design of a new information system. System analysis involve detailed study of the information needs of the organization and end user. What type of the organization have the need and the users of that organization have the need from that proposed system. So, system analysis is in-depth study related to the information needed by the organization, the activities, resources and products of any present information system. We study about the current system, what the current system is doing, what type of functionality and resources are being used by that current system and how we can improve to meet the user requirement in the current system. The information system capabilities required to meet your information needs. These are some activities or detailed studies which involves during the system analysis. After system analysis, we go for the system design. System design can be viewed as the design of the user interface, data process and system specification. During the system design, we create the user interface, how the user will interact with that system. Data design, how the data will be stored, either the data is giving to the system or some information is generated by processing the data which has been given to the system by the users. So, data design is basically a design of the structure how the data will organize in that system. Process design, how the various process of the system, proposed system will take place during the execution, and the system specification related to the software and hardware. In user interface, we design some form or some graphical user interface through which user can give some data to the system for the processing or can get the output generated by the system. Data design, how the various entities or elements of the data will store into the system. Process design, how the different process or functionality will take place during the execution, and the system specification, the detailed information about the system. System implementation. Implementation is the stage where theory is converted into practical. The implementation is a vital step in ensuring the success of new systems. Even a well designed system can fail if it is not properly implemented. So, during the phase of system implementation, what we have studied, what we have analyzed during the previous phases, we convert that results into a working physical system. At that time, the actual system design will take place. During the implementation, we have the 4 steps like execution of the hardware and software and services, the appropriate and related hardware, software and other infrastructure and information technology services will be acquired for the smooth functioning of the designed system in the organization. If the previously or ready-made softwares are not available, we will go through the software development or we will modify the existing software as per the user need or the requirement of the candidate. After acquiring all the hardware and software, we will go through the training phase. We will train the users who are going to use that system in the organization to make the users familiar with the system and to adopt that system for their motivational purpose. And during the training, we perform some modular training through which we can make users familiar and used to of that system which is being implemented in the organization. System documentation. The system documentation is the detailed documents about the system specification. It is like a user manual, how the system is structured, how it will work, what are the functionality, all the detailed information are in the system documentation. If the system is not implemented properly, there are chances to fail the system. So, all the 4 steps are very crucial during the system implementation, like acquisition of proper software, hardware and services, software development if there is needed, and the modification in the existing system, and the end user training. If the end user is not adopting the system, the organization will not work efficiently and effectively. So, user training is also a most important part, and system documentation is the detailed information about the system which is being implemented in the organization. After implementing the system, we continuously monitor the productivity and functionality of that implemented system in the organization. And if there is something lacking, we perform the maintenance to meet the output or efficiency as per the user requirement. Once a system is fully implemented and being operated by the end users after getting trained by the system developers or vendors, the maintenance function begins. System maintenance is the monitoring, evaluating and modifying of operational information system to make desirable or necessary improvement. So, implementation, post implementation and maintenance. Post implementation and maintenance is a continuous process. We continuously monitoring the system performance, and if there is need of any modification to achieve the user objectives or objective of the system, we perform some maintenance and updation. So, on the screen you can understand all the phases in a picture, how the system development life cycles go through for developing a system. Like first of all, requirement determination and specification. What are the requirement of the system or what are the requirement of the organization to develop a system, and that will result to the user requirement specification. After taking the requirement from the users, the feasibility analysis will take place, and feasibility analysis related to economy, technology, behavior, schedule. We have some feasibility studies, that are the results which has been obtained after performing the various analysis on the basis of the user requirement. And after completing the feasibility study, we have a system specification analysis, what a system will be, that is the system specification. and after performing the system specification analysis, we get the functional specification, how the system will function in the organization. And on the basis of the functional specification, and we develop the system design. It is the conceptual design of the system, and that conceptual design will be converted to the physical system during the system implementation. And for the system implementation, we have the logical design and the test plans. We perform the test how efficiently that system is working, and once the system has been implemented, we have the step of the system evaluation and maintenance. And during the system evaluation and maintenance, we have the continuous monitoring, and we revise the system requirement if the system is not meet to the expectation of the user or not achieving the central objective of that system. Another term is the prototyping. Prototyping is the purpose of the building a model system. In terms of an information system, prototypes are employed to help system designers build an information system that initiative and easy to manipulate and users. Prototyping is an iterative process that is part of analysis phase of the system development of life cycle. On the screen, you are seeing a flow chart, and there are some steps for the prototyping. First of all, identifying of the basic information. After that, we go through the development the initial prototype. We develop a model or we propose a system, and that initial prototype will be used for the prototype system. If user is satisfied, first of all we create a prototype and will demonstrate that prototype or model to the user. If user is satisfied, at that time we go through the implementation and we make the operational prototype and use that prototype as a specification and use that prototype as a application. If user is not satisfied or the expectation of users are not fulfilled that prototype, we go through the working prototype, revise that prototype, introduce the functionality what the user is additionally want, and enhance the working prototype again, and that is a iterative activity and it will take again and again until the user is not satisfied by the prototype. So, it is just like a representation of the model, how the system will look like. Once it is done, that prototype will be converted into the operational system. Let us discuss the advantages of the prototyping. Prototype reduce the development time, because what the developer is doing with the system is directly showing to the user, and user can ask for the development during the initial development. Once if we have developed a application or system and after that we are demonstrating to the user and user wants something else, at that time the changing in the existing or working system is a difficult task. It reduces the development cost, because we are giving what we are doing in the system development to the user, and user is continuously monitoring how the system is developing, and it will reduce the efforts of the developer and that directly related to the development cost. It requires the user involvement. Without user involvement, prototyping cannot be succeed. its result are higher user satisfaction. By using the prototyping approach, we can get the higher user satisfaction. Prototype are an active, not passive model that end user can see, touch and feel, that are the working entity that user can check and interact with the that working prototype of the system. Prototyping can increase creativity because it allows for quicker user feedback, which can lead to better solution, because step by step user is giving the feedback to get the system objectives in a higher rate. Let us discuss the disadvantages of prototyping. Prototyping often lead to premature commitment to a design. Prototyping can reduce creativity in design. Prototyping is not suitable for large applications. Structure of system can be damaged since many changes could be made, and developer misunderstanding of the user objectives, because during the prototyping user is giving its feedback and it is the iterative process, and so many changes can be made by the users. So, it can damage the system design or structure of the design, and sometime it can lead to make confuse the developer what to develop. These are the references for the PPT. Thank you.